So you will receive an invite via email to log in. Go ahead and log in here. You will be provided a payment link. Go ahead and click on that. All right, and you will be prompted to this page, company billing, and then add your payment method right here. Very, very easy with that. The next thing what we're going to do is once you add payment method, again, name on card, go through all the steps, very, very easy. We're going to walk through on complete setup of what this looks like. You will have workflows and automations already linked up in here, but there are a few things that you're going to need to do to start right away. So first and foremost, what you can do is if you go back and you will see on Launchpad, on Launchpad, you will be able to send yourself a link or anyone else on your team the link to the mobile app. So go ahead and send a link right here, and that's going to be to the mobile number of yourself or whoever else you'd like the mobile app to go. Go ahead and connect Google My Business. So we'll go ahead and you're going to sign in to your Google My Business account. Connect. You're going to go ahead and sign into Facebook. Go to connect. If you're doing the chat widget, you have a website, what you're going to do is put your website in there. So we'll say testing.com, and then what it will give you is some code to actually add on your website. Very easy with that. If you want to use WhatsApp, you can go ahead and connect right there. Stripe account, this is a very good thing to start using. If you take payments through Stripe, or if you don't have one, go ahead and start one. It's free to start. Additional things in here to add team members, we're going to go ahead and do that. So you can go ahead and just add them directly right here. And I'm also going to show another way to do this as well. Next step that we're going to go to is show exactly how to add them. So if we go back to staff as well, we can go ahead and add an employee. You don't necessarily need to provide them a password. They will make one on themselves. And then for a calendar, you don't need to select a calendar at this present time. Same thing with signature. User permissions, just keep these as default unless you do not want them having access to Facebook ads, reporting, social media. You can deselect all that stuff. Same thing with websites. So if you have like a SDR or a team member that you're really just looking to have them do like lead generation and stuff like that, really the only thing that they're really going to need access to are appointments, opportunities. But again, you can go ahead and deselect some of these right here, right? Just like that. User role, admin or user. Admin is going to obviously have access to settings and backend stuff. User, we're going to set them as a user. We can keep this just the same right now. And then calendar configuration, we'll get that in a little bit. Save, and then it will go send them a invite right away. All right, next step in this process is we need to connect your domain, and we also need to set up email. These are very, very important steps with this. So what we're going to do is go to settings. Then what you're going to do is go to domains. Nice thing with this setup is you can add as many domains as you choose. Purpose of this is if you have multiple different landing pages, you can have multiple different domains linking to it. But for the sake of this one, we're going to do one domain and show how we're going to set that up. So where you have your domain hosted with, it could be like GoDaddy or Cloudflare. Again, we're just going to show a test for this as an example. All right, type in the domain. And then what it's going to do is it's setting up your domain right now. It's finding the provider details. It says that my provider is Cloudflare. So we can go ahead and authorize that. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and it's going to log into Cloudflare. And what it's going to do, which is nice, it's going to add these records to it. So we're going to go ahead and authorize that. All right, and if you have a funnel in here, just go ahead and select that. Okay, and then you will see the domains that are listed right here. While we're in here and we're working on DNS records, we're also going to add email. Now, go back to settings, you'll see email services, and we want to create a dedicated domain. Now, ideally, when you're sending from our system, the backend part is from Mailgun. So if you are already connected to Google or Outlook, or you have it's what is called MX records are pointed to another server, then what we're going to have to do is one of two things. You're either going to need to create a separate domain where you can send from, or two, you can create a subdomain. I'm going to show how to do a subdomain real quick so that we can kind of go through this relatively quickly. On the subdomain, so I usually do a record and then try not to do mail. My usually is really good. Enter where it's pointing to, which is going to be IP, and press save. All right. So that is going to be how we're going to do a subdomain. Basically, we're going to be sending from that then. Now, if you're going to have a secondary domain, you just actually include that secondary domain in here. So what we're going to do here is we'll go ahead and add that subdomain in here. Go ahead and add and verify. All right, connect your domains. The same thing as with the domain setting, it's going to search for where it's located, search retrieving the DNS records. Go ahead, authorize. And then what you're going to do is authorize these records that are going to go through here. Takes just a few moments. And you're going to get this right away. Basically, go ahead and go verify. All right, sometimes it needs a few minutes to propagate, so give it a minute or so. All right, still needs a few minutes probably to still propagate, but it looks like it's having everything set up correctly. You see the MX records that are still working. And then DMARC, just make sure that you do have a DMARC record in there. That's very important for sending. You can start with exactly how it is right here with none. Once everything is set up correctly, you'll see this shared IP and then we are ready to send on your account. Now, if this way seems too complicated and you don't have access to this, another couple ways that you can add is you can actually add directly from the provider of Google, Yahoo, SendGrid, or other. Other is going to be SMT provider. So like you don't need to necessarily make any changes. You're just connecting your inboxes directly to the actual platform itself. So if it's Gmail, you're going to want to go ahead and do the Gmail. Now to do that, you will need to create an app password. Click here and it will show you how to do that. But the other side too is like if you have SMTP, so anything other than that, you'd be entering the server number, port, username, email, and password, and it will connect everything directly right there, and it will show up on email services. All right, the next step that is very, very important and critical is on your profile. You're going to go back to settings, my profile, and then what you want to do is do a email sync. So you want to connect your email. And if you have, you can go ahead and connect it directly right here, and then it'll be a one click, very, very easy. You're going to add your signature. You'll have a drop down of the calendar that you want to select. Just go ahead, select that calendar. Video conferencing. So like if you're doing any video conferencing or calendars, you obviously want to connect your calendar to it. So if it's Google Outlook, go ahead and connect that right away. You'll go to sign into Google right here. So sign in. It will prompt you to that. Go ahead, sign into Google, and then your calendar will pop open right here. On your availability, go ahead and create your availability. How are you going to do meetings? If you're doing a Zoom meeting, you'll have Zoom connected, and you'll see video conferencing right here. So again, if you're using Google Meets and you have a Google account, that will log in when you have your calendar connected. If you want to use Zoom, go ahead and add Zoom right here. If you're not using any of those, what you're going to probably do is just do custom. And then what you want to do is your availability. So set your availability for the week, what that looks like, save it, and then you are good to go on this side. Next part is going to be on creating a phone number, and we're going to walk through that together.